Alright, yo. Here we go. Alright, y'all, back once again. Like always, let me make sure our stream is good. Yeah, what's going on? Got a few things to talk about tonight. Let's talk about this past weekend, post-fight weekend, man. Good fights, man. Good fights on this card. Give y'all a few minutes. Robert Henry, what's going on? Let's see, man. I think both of these WMMA fights pretty much made up for some of the lackluster fights we had over the past couple weekends. You know, two quick fights made up for it to me. That's just me. But yeah. As y'all can see, we'll talk about everything here on the screen and maybe a couple other things as well. Just give y'all a few minutes to come in. And let me see here. Straighten this thing up so I can see. I just yeah, Robert, they're giving him a hard time. Like, I'll talk a little bit about it on the stream, but I'm actually uploading the video right now, my thoughts on Sterling. So yeah, like, there was just a lot of stuff I wanted to say about the situation. So I said, let me go ahead and drop the video. I did a video this morning. After that, I crashed out. So I said, let me get up and upload it. So I got the video. I got the video on Sterling right now. It's uploading. Like, we can speak on it a little bit here, you know, but like I said, the video coming. This is how I feel. It's about done uploading now. Marcus Bell, what's going on? Yeah, I think, well, it made up for it over, like I said, the Nunes Anderson fight. It was a knockout. I mean, it was a submission. It was good punches landed. It made up for it over what was the other fights we had the other weekend? Yana versus Ketlin. I mean, that was good as far as competition wise, but I mean, I wanted to see a finish, and you know, Nunez did that. So not great, but you know, I wanted something to happen. Gary Baldwin, what's going on? He said Megan is so unpolished. She is, man. Like, I might have to do a video just going all the way back with Megan Anderson where they messed up with her. I mean, she was a raw talent from the Invicta days, and she could have been molded into something better, man. Like, I could go back and tell you what she needed to do, because I could have trained a fighter like her, man. She just needed so much more, her confidence built up, man. Like, as far as her attitude, her approach to the game, you know, her anxiety levels need to be brought down. Just so many things with her. That's why I was talking about my post-fight analysis more so. It was just her deer in the headlights, you know, her deer in the headlights, like, moments, you know, like that shouldn't have been there. All that should have been gone. You know, stuff like that should have just been shaken out years ago. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, man, we in here. So welcome back to another CB99 live stream. Of course, I'm Combo Breaker 99, man. And like I said, this is a post-fight weekend live stream. We're gonna go in. We're gonna talk about these WMMA fights. We're gonna talk about the main event. I didn't even do my post-fight analysis for the main event, so I'll do it here. on the live stream towards the end of the video. Well, it'll be like the last topic. We'll do that. First up, let's talk about Amanda Lemos and Olivia Renata Souza. Then we'll speak on Amanda Nunes and her quick finish of Megan Anderson, and we'll just talk some more about Megan as a fighter and this nail in the coffin of the featherweight division. Amanda Nunes retiring or going down to 135. Let's talk about it. And like I said, I'll give you my post-fight analysis for Blkovich versus Adesanya. And yeah, man, 50 years, man. Today marks 50 years of Ali Frazier 1, man. For the boxing fans, 50 years ago. I was just watching some of the fight today, man. I'm talking about 15 rounds of brutal boxing, man. Ali Frazier, man. Yeah, if y'all ain't seen that first fight, it was crazy. I'm talking about 15 rounds. This was a day whenever Twitter wasn't around, social media wasn't around. If you wanted to do your trash talking, you had to do it to a fighter's face, Gary, what's going on? Ernest, what's going on? Yeah, man, this was like a time when if you wanted to say something to somebody's face, y'all confronted each other. Y'all confronted each other at the gym. You did it in the ring. And that's what Ali Frazier was about, man. So we'll talk a little bit about that too, man. If y'all ain't seen the fight, you know where to find it. But yeah, man, let's get started. Got a few of y'all in here, so let's talk on this Amanda Lemos versus Olivia Renata Souza. Man, this girl, Amanda Lemos, man, like I just seen some of her fights, some of her earlier fights, and I could just see like some things about her where if she found the right focus and the right weight for her, she would be a force. I've seen her fight at 135 a few times, and she just didn't look as strong. Like she had the strength to her punches and her strikes, but I was like, something just seemed a little off about her. But man, like Saturday night, I'm like, yo, this girl Lemos, 115. I think this weight suits her. I think it definitely suits her, man. She looks strong. There's something I brought up in my keys to victory about her too, like her sharpness, man. Like her sharpness, her leg kicks, her jabs, everything she throws is like bad intentions on it. Like she doesn't really throw like a lot of winded shots. She doesn't really throw like overexert herself. Amanda Lemos, she's very accurate, precise, and she showcased that in this quick fight, man. That's why she got to finish the way she did, because she was so accurate. She's so accurate with hers that's how you get the respect. You know what I mean? Like you swing wild shots. Macy Barber got power. She'll swing them home run hitters, but it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy physically and mentally, to throw them big shots. And if you miss, you get frustrated. But Lemos, like, she goes back to square one with hers. Every time she'll swing one, boom, she catches you with a straight left hand. Right back to reset, setting the trap. Boom, right hand. And every single shot she was hitting Souza with was like buckling her. Man, I'm talking right hands. Buckled her a couple times and she was able to drop her. She gets back up. She's chopping the lead leg down. She gets up again. And you could see it in like Souza's face. Like Souza was just giving too much respect. Like Souza was like, I got no way of getting in here. I got no way of scoring a takedown. It's just a matter of time. And that's sort of what she was waiting for. So finally, getting back into the fence, Lemos just threw that shotgun jab right down the pipe and boom, she went down. I was like, yo, it was a jab. The referee, he stepped in. Like, maybe she could have had maybe another second or two, but I think when she got dropped from a jab, she was pretty much out of it. And, that just saved her unnecessary punishment when he stepped in. But I was like, yo, Lemos really has something, man. Like, she's really been polishing her striking up. She's gotten better even since the last fight, which was who was it? The Japanese fighter Inoue. I feel like she did good work in that fight, but this one here, man, she was just so much more precise. She didn't let the grappler get going. She dictated the pace. All around good striker, man. I mean, what do y'all think? What did y'all think of Lemos? I know some people saying it's early to tell, but Lemos been around for a minute now. She's like 34 years old. Like I said, she's been fighting at 135. She's been in what's her name? Leslie Smith. She's been in there with Leslie Smith before, so she's been around. That was her first fight, actually. She got stopped in that fight, but like I said, I don't think 135 was a weight for her. Let me see, comment section here. Lemos looked untouchable in that fight. Yeah, she was bullying Souza. Souza, with Marcus, you said you weren't that impressed with it. Like, I always felt like Souza was a pretty rugged fighter. Like, yeah, she's not the best, and like, I know you're not impressed with her, but like, I thought she was tougher than that. Like, I thought she would have found some type of way to get in and, be effective. Even Mizuki Inoue was able to press. She was able to press Lemos to the fence and, get those clinches in, but Souza just seemed like scared almost. She seemed scared to get in there. I was like, come on, you got to close the distance. If you stay out here, you're just going to be eating big shots all night. And that's what happened. Well, not all night, but, for as long as the fight lasted. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from, like her not being that impressive. Like, she was decent in Invicta. But every time, like, the competition got tougher, like with Brianna Van Buren, she lost. The Ashley Yoder fight was close. Ashley Yoder was outstriking her in that fight. Ashley Yoder lost the fight. But there was still a lot of close moments in there. I mean, if you got good hands, that's the best way to really that's the best way to really control a fighter like Souza. And Amanda Lemos, her hands are that good. Yeah, Brianna Van Buren was bullying Souza. Yeah. Lemos had a few things to work on, but she likely be an easy out for most girls in that weight class. Souza isn't impressive in UFC, but there's something to say about being the first to finish a 14-2 fighter. Yeah, I mean, that's a big highlight for Lemos, because that girl's tough. Like I said, I didn't see her losing by a knockout like this. I picked Lemos by decision. I thought she was just going to piece her up, keep the distance, and Souza will be able to take a few of these strikes. But nah, man, it didn't work out that way. That power came on strong, and boom, she was out of there. So yeah, man. Hang on here. Some of this chat be coming in slow as hell. TJ, what's going on? TJ says Souza was like my wannabe tough aunt. She's got a decent punch, but she ain't exactly what I call strike. Still with the hands. No, she ain't, man. She ain't. She's very dependent on the right hand. Like I said in my I said in my prediction and my post fight. Souza is one hit, one punch, the right hand, that overhand right. Other than that, when you start to put punches together on her, she's gonna fall back. Angela Hill did it. Ashley Yoder was doing it in that third round. So, yeah, I know what you mean. That want to be tough. Yeah, she's like Brazilian gangster, like they call her. But when you start putting hands on her, you'll tame her. Yeah, she hold on here. Yeah, Souza. Very tough when she's able to get in on the inside and, of course, get in the clinch and take it to the ground. But she's got to develop some striking. She hadn't developed any striking. Hold her overall approach is just to wing a right hand and try to get in and beat, muscle you. But Lemos is got the muscle. She's got the striking. She'll take it inside and outside. She'll put you anywhere. But this fight here, Lemos just did really nice with her striking from the outside, and look for the early finish, and she got it, man. So let's see who's next. I asked y'all in the other video I did, who y'all think is next for Amanda Lemos. Okay, Gary Baldwin says, Ernest says Souza got lumped up by Brianna Van Buren. Yeah, she got lumped up by a smaller fighter like that, in which Tecia Torres, she dominated Brianna Van Buren. TJ said, what happened to your girl? Then you make a video about her she could beat. Whoa, I know you ain't talking to me. TJ, I ain't even gonna say nothing to that, TJ. You know that ain't true. Souza got lumped up. Okay, Lemos versus Gadelia sounds good. Hey, that'd be a good fight. I think Lemos at this point could get Claudia out of there, man, for real. I think she can get her out of there for real at this point. Let's be honest. Lemos got the power. She got the hands. Claudia hadn't really been improving on much of anything. Claudia is still kind of stuck in the same gear she was, back in 2016, 2015. Damn, I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah. Marcus said this might be off topic, but poor Montana, in which the people she's beat in the UFC are no longer in the UFC. Oh, you crazy? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Montana, like she's young, but she's not making improvements. Souza versus Mckenna. Gary, I see Corey McKenna beating Souza too. Lemos versus Amanda Ribas sounds good. Yeah, that's a good fight, but I want to see Amanda Ribas fight Michelle Waterson. They still got to do their thing. Honestly, I already told you how I want to see Amanda Lemos fight. I want to see Lemos fight the winner of Jandiroba versus Kanako Murata. I mean, that fight's good in itself. Jandiroba versus Murata, that's a good fight, but the winner of that fight facing Lemos should push one of them fighters into the top 10. Because let me check these rankings, because Murata, I think, is unranked, and I think Jandiroba's like number 15. Okay, no, never mind. Jandiroba's number 13 now, and she's fighting Murata, who's unranked. Let's see. Oh, these ain't been updated yet because Souza's still number 15. Souza should be out of there now, and Lemos should be like number 15 or 14. Dang, man. Felice Herrig is still number 14. It's time for her to be out of the rankings, right? How is Felice Herrig over Souza anyway? I don't know. Okay. So Lemos is still unranked. Lemos should be number 15 within this week. And Felice should be out of there, in my opinion, now. I mean, yeah. Ain't nobody in the UFC got nothing on Claudia. Claudia, man. That's true. Claudia should have that belt. Yeah, man. Yeah, these rankings don't make sense sometimes. Most of the times here at the UFC, so I just had to pull it up and base it off of something, man. Like Felice should be out of there. Amanda Lemos should be like 14 now. And Souza, she should be out of there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so that's who I think. I mean, Lemos versus Lemos versus Ebos would be a good fight. And I think if Lemos got that fight, that would push her into the top 10 faster than that Janaroba Murata fighting the winner of that fight. So yeah, that's cool too. I mean, if Michelle Waterson doesn't want the Ebos fight, then shoot, so be it. Yeah, give her that fight. Gary said Souza versus Herrick should be next. I don't even think Felice Herrick is fighting right now, right? Like, I know her knee is still out, so she was out because of knee surgery. That thing is still like, I think she's still having some problems with it, so she shouldn't be fighting. I mean, yeah, TJ, that picture right there of Nunez Anderson describes it all. That picture describes it, man. So yeah, let's jump over here to Nunez Anderson now. So Amanda Lemos, she did it. Both Amandas scored big first round finishes. Hold on here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, both Amandas pulled. They both pulled off their first round finishes. Looked like forces up in there. Just all around good striking by Amanda Lemos. That fight with Ebos would be interesting though. I ain't gonna lie, that would be interesting. So she just needs to keep fighting her way up, developing, moving into fighting the possible Claudia one day. Maybe even Tatiana Suarez if she ever comes back. That would be interesting, man. Yeah, man, Claudia's days are numbered, man. They are numbered. Let's be real. All right. So I talked about my post-fight analysis about Nunez Anderson. I mean, not much. We ain't gonna break nothing down here again on this live stream. What did y'all think? What was y'all's thoughts? Like, what was y'all's thoughts on Megan Anderson coming to the octagon? Like her walk. Let's talk about that. Like, what did y'all see? What were y'all thinking when Megan Anderson walked to the octagon? I mean, I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a fighter at that point, like, no disrespect, like, I won't even say like I didn't see a fighter. I almost saw like Megan Anderson, the bystander, like coming to the octagon against a pound for pound great. You know what I mean? It was almost like she didn't even seem like a fighter at that point. Like, I'm putting myself in her shoes. I'm looking at Megan Anderson and I'm looking at her in the face when she's coming in, and it's almost like this girl is somebody they just got off the street. Just by her, just by her aura and her, her approach to the octagon, her body language, she just looked like somebody they got off the street and forced to get into the octagon with the champion. You know what I mean? That's what it looked like. Just by her mentality. Of course, I know she trained, she got physically ready, but mentally, you could almost read it on her face like, I'm not ready for this. And then when that octagon closed and you just look across the opposite side, you see Amanda Nunes up there bouncing and pumped and she's ready to attack. You're like, yo, Megan, you got to start feeling like a killer right now. Don't get starstruck. That's what I got. I got the feeling like Megan was almost like starstruck. She had anxiety. She was fearful. She was just in that mode where she was just there to completely respect Amanda Nunes at that point. She's looking at her and like, oh man, I'm in there with the great right now. What am I gonna do? I'm out of my league. That's pretty much how I felt. Like when I saw it, I was like, she doesn't look like somebody that wants to fight right now. I mean, Felicia Spencer. Let's go back to Felicia Spencer. She looked like a fighter that was ready to take a chance, do whatever it was she needed to do, go in there, take it how it comes, see what she can do. If she loses, oh well, I gave it my all. And that's what kind of showed in Felicia Spencer, like the skill level completely out of her league. Nunes and Spencer, okay. Skill level's completely different. But the heart, Spencer's heart was always there. That's why she stayed in there for 5 rounds. She stayed in there for 5 rounds because her approach was still to win. Yeah, she didn't have the skills, but she had the mentality. She had the mental. She had that mental to go in there. That's why she survived. That's why she survived. Took a beating, but she survived. But Megan Anderson, man, no puncher's chance. TJ, that's what I'm talking about. Like, no puncher's chance. Like we were talking about, I was talking about the puncher's chance. To have a puncher's chance, you have to be ignorant to everything else and just focused on your puncher's chance, and you'll take every opportunity to try to land it. But she didn't have that because her mind was not there. It froze up. Completely froze up. Let me see what y'all say in the comments. TJ said, not to be funny, but Megan is mentally weak. Her history shows this. She doesn't do well with adversity. Right. Same here. And Megan, Peggy Morgan 2.0. Oh man, that fight. Oof. Gary, Megan looked like a ghost. Yeah, I look back at the fight and noticed the leg that kicked itself out by Megan. It looked like her whole nervous system was surrounded to the force. Yeah, I'm telling you, look. Oh man, let's go. I'm gonna have to pull that up now. Marcus, Megan only looks good against weaker competition. Yeah. And that's because there's no division. Like, there's no division to develop, build your confidence, and build your skill up. You can't jump from a Norma Dumont to Amanda Nunes and expect us to see the same results. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was looking like, why am I here? Like, what did I do? And yeah, Felicia caught the worst thing. Like, yeah, Felicia definitely faced a much worse beating. But that was because, she wanted to challenge herself. She wanted to get in there, and her mind kept her in there. Now, granted, if her skill was been balanced out with her mind, then we would have seen a much more competitive fight with Felicia Spencer. But Megan Anderson, I think there just came a point in there where Amanda Nunes said, look, I'm going to make this easy. We're going to end it right now. So she ran. Megan Anderson, like, she came into the Nunez's open arms, tried to go in for that takedown, and Nunez said, boom, I'm going to take you down. Ground and pound. Never mind, let me get on your back. Got the triangle. Was choking her with the damn triangle. I think she could have just choked her out with her legs right there. But she extended that arm out and was like, yo, look, I'm going to end it now. I know there's fear in you, so no need to draw this out another round or two. We done. Fuller Van Winkler said, it's crazy how fast that right hand of Nunez is, though. Yeah, like her right hand, when it came down to it, like I said, her right hand is gonna. It'll be Nunez who will do whatever she wants. Like, you'll kind of cut your chances a little bit slimmer by giving Megan Anderson a chance by standing with her. But that's if Megan Anderson is there mentally. So Megan wasn't there mentally, so boom. Amanda Nunes was able to punch. She could do whatever she wanted. She strike, punched with her, take her to the ground, whatever she wanted to do. Beautiful right hands too, one after the other. Like, first right hand that landed made Megan Anderson kind of buckle. Then there was a second right hand that just made her eyes open up. I went back and heard the commentary. It was like, she's wide-eyed right now, Then that third right hand landed, and boom, like the leg swung out, man. I'm telling y'all, like, that's when I knew it was over. Like, her right leg just it was like it was trying to leave the octagon before her, you know, like came out from under her, got pressed to the fence, and eats another right hand, and then she just stood there and took 2 big jabs to the face, and then she just like, it was almost like it fierce. You tried to shoot in for Amanda Nunes like a takedown, and Nunes just took her down. Like you could tell like everything they planned was just out the door. Like a game plan was out the door. It was horrible, man. It was horrible. Yeah, Spencer has heart. Yeah, Spencer's heart kept her in the fight. Right. To have a puncher's chance, you have to punch. And Megan Anderson, another thing about her body language, her hand was open. Did y'all see her right hand that whole time? Her right hand was never cocked and ready to counter. Her hand was open. Like I saw the fingers. I was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, your right hand is open. She was never going to land that right hand. So Nunez got comfortable. You see Nunez started smiling after she landed a few right hands, right? And she just started staying in the pocket. Go back and look. Megan Anderson's hand was open. That's why I was like, oh, okay, she ain't gonna try to land nothing here. Like she took big chances in the Holly Holm fight. Y'all remember like she bum rushed Holly and kneed Holly to the face a couple times, landed some good punches. Felicia Spencer, she landed on her a couple times when she got taken down, but this fight here, like her hand was open. Yeah, just froze right up, man. Just froze right up, TJ. True flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight. If you aren't a true fighter, you're nothing. Right. Fuller Van Winkle said, when a striker starts panic wrestling, you know it's over. Pretty much, man. Yeah, because when she got hit with them double jabs and she just kind of woke up, she was just like, I got to run in because she's punching me. So she panicked. You know, she jumped in and Nunes said, perfect. Just what I wanted. Boom, we go on the ground now. Yeah, he said at least Souza tried to hit Lemos. Did she? Did she ever try to hit Lemos in the fight? She did try for some takedowns, right? She did try a few times, yeah. She tried a few times, but yeah, she just couldn't get anything done because the power was there. So yeah. But she suffered the same fate too because her thing was she didn't have enough tools. You know, Souza just didn't have enough tools. I think Megan had some tools as far as her reach and, you know, striking, but all of that was out the door because her mind wasn't there, man. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much like my thoughts as far as like just studying the fighter, just like seeing body language and just seeing like the levels of fighters and, you know, knowing somebody's not ready. Like I'm talking about leading up to this fight, Megan Anderson was like, yo, I want the title shot. So I'm like, okay, let's see what you'll do. You know, like even that night, Megan Anderson and Felicia Spencer fought 2 separate fights on the same card. And Amanda Nunes had to choose who to fight. And she chose Felicia Spencer first. Y'all remember Megan Anderson, she got kind of disappointed and got mad saying, oh, like, they're pushing a fighter like Felicia Spencer. You know, they want to push her more so. You know, she got kind of salty that Felicia Spencer got the title shot. Well, I'm like, she did beat you, so she's getting the title shot now. But at the same time, like, she was speaking on it like she really deserved it. And now that she got it, we saw how she looked, right? We knew she was going to look like this, but I'm just saying, like, it's even bad that it's one thing for the fans to say, oh, she's out of her league, she's going to lose, but it's another when the fighter doesn't believe in himself. You know, it's another thing when she doesn't believe in herself and she's actually thinking, what did I get myself into? You know? TJ said, to be that tall and long and have such limited skill, she should be out of range for any challenger due to her length. Long jab, long kicks, but Megan ain't got any of that. I mean, yeah, like her early fights, you could see her developing, but it's kind of like they never like went past the right hand. Like she should have a good jab. She's got them big legs. She should have like some very powerful kicks, but you don't really see her mixing it up like that. You know? Yeah, all around TJ, like her striking it's not elite striking. It's not elite striking. It's not Joanna striking. It's not Valentina striking. Hell, it's not even it's not way elite striking. It ain't Rose striking. I mean, yeah, she's a tall fighter and there's different things you gotta make up for as far as how your balance is, but they should be working on these things to where her striking should be so much more like variety. And you know what, TJ, she's never really had to work on variety because she's knocking girls out with one right hand, you know, so that's another downfall to that. You know, like she knocks out Norma Dumont and they think, okay, that's it. So, yeah, she misses a lot of punches, doesn't string them together well. Like her jab, like no jab. Fuller said even in Megan interviews before the fight, you could tell she wasn't mentally there. Seemed like she wasn't even interested. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I'll say this too, like before we jump to the next topic. Look, fighters, they really need to stay off social media, like especially if they're like very, you know, self-conscious fighters and they're very what's the word? Anxious people, you know, fighters, you know, they're human too. So people that are anxious like that, you know, they get anxiety easy and they take criticism to heart. There's a lot of fighters that need to stay off social media, you know. Hold on one second. I'm just fixing something here. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, yeah, like fighters, they start listening to the people, they start listening to the trolls. They really need to just stay off of social media. Like if you don't use your social media or your Instagram just to post what you're up to or your fight updates or your training, and you actually start arguing with people who don't fight, then you should probably stay away from social media. And I think during fight camps and during times when your fight is coming up, Megan should just stay away from it. You know, she should just stay away from it. No, Marcus, I don't think she could. Like, I don't think she could beat some of these bantamweights. Like, I don't think she could beat Yana Kunitskaya. If Yana Kunitskaya moved up to 145, I think Yana would win that fight. I think I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Y'all know Macy Chiasson called out Megan Anderson whenever Amanda Nunes had pulled out of the fight, right? You know, Macy Chiasson said, I wanted to fight Megan. And that's a fight that I still would want to see. Just because, you know. Yeah, like they really need to stay away from social media because it's not really good for them. I mean, again, like if you're the type of person that takes everything to heart, just stay away from it and just focus on what you need to do. You know, because I think a lot of these fighters, they start to converse with these people online and they just don't let it be a thing where they're the fans and they're the star, they're the celebrity. That's how they need to think of it. They actually let these trolls come in and invade their page and take over. And the thing is, you know, I think James Krause, he's a good trainer. You know, I think he's a good fighter. He's a, you know, hell of a fighter. He's a good trainer. I just think that maybe he can't really. I don't really think they're really clicking, and I don't think he's really developing her. And it's not him. I think it's more so her. I think she needs somebody that's really gonna lay it down and tell her how it is and what she needs to do if she wants to continue to fight. Robert said, I just hope Megan learns whatever life lessons she needs to learn so she can move on mentally and wherever she goes from here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I was a Megan fan. I still am as far as like watching her fights. Even fighting the lower competition because she's an exciting fighter with those knockouts. But I was a fan of her when she fought her way up to Invicta and won the belt. But whenever she started calling Cyborg out right then, I kind of was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you ain't ready for a Cyborg fight. Then all of a sudden she was gone for like a year. That just kind of made me feel a certain way about her then, because it was just like, why didn't you just take the time out when they were building that featherweight division and call out some other names? Instead you want to call Cyborg out, clout chase, and boom, anxiety kicks in, and it's, you're done. You defeated yourself by doing that. Yeah, she should have stuck to Invicta a little bit longer. Back in 2018, like it was like 2018 when she first won the Invicta belt, she should have defended it a few times. And then when they started bringing in more featherweights into the UFC, she should have fought fighters like Letson and Chason, and she should have demanded those type of names. She should have demanded Letson, Chason, Bea Malecki like 3 years ago. Like when she first came in, she should have demanded those names before she got in there with Chris Cyborg, and maybe it would have happened. Instead, she called out Cyborg at the time, and it just pushed everything out the door. They started, Cyborg started acknowledging the call out. She went missing in action, and that was just it. Then she started calling Holly Holm out, and then Holly Holm took the fight. And you know what Holly did to her, so yeah. Robot Chicken Wings, what's up? Robot said he knows to go to the needs to go to the WNBA. I don't even think she balled like that because she says she don't even really play sports. TJ says she's gonna get Pena going to get the same treatment. I think Pena could have more of a chance. I will say that. Look, Pena has more of a chance because I think she'll take a better approach. I'm going to give Pena a little bit more. I'm going to give Pena a little bit more of a chance to put up a good fight. Okay, TJ? I didn't say win, but I think Pena will put up a better chance to put up a competitive fight more so than Megan Anderson. Okay? All right? I will say that. It's not going to happen the same way. I don't see her getting taken out the same way. Not without putting up a fight. I mean, I really wish that Holm Pena fight would have happened first, but Holm got injured. Right, that's what I said. Yeah, she should have just defended her belt a few times in Invicta, and then let's move on from there. Pena has better fight IQ, but she still gets finished. Right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Robot Chicken's like, she has a better fight IQ, so you might see her stay in there and do a few things. She might do a few things in there, and eventually Amanda Nunes catches up and does what she does. You know what I mean? Because again, look, Pena isn't the type of fighter to be as disciplined as Nunes. She can be a little reckless at times, and that's the reason why Nunes is the champion right now. She hadn't lost in what? Somebody keeps telling me, I keep forgetting how many years, X amount of years, and Nunez continues to thrive, because she learned from her mistakes. You don't see Nunez making the same mistakes. And if she does, she makes up for it with better, greater strength in her competition. So Pena's got a better IQ, yeah, definitely. Better IQ compared to Megan. Killer instinct is there, unlike Megan. Definitely be a much more competitive than Megan. Pena versus anyone. Dang, man, you don't think Pena's exciting, TJ? Come on, man. That fight with GDR was good, even though she lost. Kat Zingano fight was good. Valentina fight was good. I don't think that fight be boring, Marcus. Pena versus Ladd would be good. I'd be going for Pena in that fight, but Aspen Ladd throws down. Aspen Ladd throw down. She'll let her hands go. Come on, GDR, the way she laid out Ladd. I mean, It take two to tango, man. Robert said Megan Anderson is a gamer, so maybe she can do sport. Maybe she can do esports. Yeah, why not? I mean, I'll be looking at it on TikTok. She be on TikTok. She got her Twitch or whatever it is. Like, I mean, I'm not like subscribed, but I just see it. Like, she'll post it on her Instagram, and she be going in on them esports. So, I mean, that's what y'all remember Jessamine Duke. That's what she does now. Jessamine Duke. She plays esports. Shoot, I just ain't got the time for it, man. I thought about doing that thing, man, but I thought about getting the whole setup. Y'all ever think about doing that esports, man? I thought about buying that setup and everything and playing. I just ain't got the time to sit down and play games, man. I mean, I'm sitting here streaming now because I'm doing the channel and this is what I want to do, but I ain't got enough time to play games like that anymore. E-gaming, man, like you really got that has to be your life. That really has to be your life, man. Like, or it really has to be your source of income. I just can't do it, man. I mean, I would like to sit down and play a game and have a bunch of people follow me and pay me to sit down and play a game, but I just can't do it, man. Yeah, Pena's on the no love list, especially on TJ's list, boy. He got her on the no love list. TJ, Megan Anderson holds the belt and is undefeated in the latest UFC game. So yeah, man. Let's talk the featherweight, the whole featherweight thing now. I guess that's it, right? What do y'all think, man? Featherweight division gone. Y'all want to see the featherweight division done? Not yet, Fuller. They still haven't announced the main event for 261. They still haven't even announced Whaley Rose yet, Fuller. Like, they still haven't full on announced Whaley Rose for the 261 card. So I don't know, man. I mean, in the meantime, we can just say that it is the main event. Oh, wait a minute now. Hold on now. Hold up now. I think I got a new story here. Okay. Here we go, y'all. All right. This is from South China Morning Post. Weili Zhang confirmed to fight Rose Namajunas on April 24th in strawweight clash. China's champion finally gets a date set for her second title defense against another strawweight great. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let me make sure this ain't no clickbait. Here we go. Okay, the deal has finally been signed and sealed, and very soon Weili Zhang will hope to deliver another title defense when she faces Rose on UFC 261, set for April 24th. The UFC confirmed the clash out of Las Vegas on International Women's Day. Okay. It's confirmed, y'all. It's confirmed. All right, Fuller, there's your answer, man. It is confirmed. And now, as far as it being the main event, I don't know. But yeah, UFC 261 now features 4 groundbreaking, inspirational female fighters at the top of the card. Okay, at the top of the card. So we know that 1 or 2 is going to be the main event, right? So let's see, Shevchenko, Andrade, they've been confirmed. Yep. Hold on here. Let's see. Just reading through it. Yeah, it's ready. It's ready now. It's ready, y'all. Yeah, pretty much just same stuff, other stuff I was reading in the article. Yeah, all right, y'all. It's confirmed. You know, didn't mean to put that in live stream, but yeah, okay, it's ready. All right, so TJ said, let's go back to the featherweight thing. Okay, TJ says, shut it down and bring on 105. All right, they can't announce a fight. Rose won't accept. It's done, man. It's confirmed. All right, Robert said, rest in peace, 145. I'm gonna stop leaning the casket in as it's being lowered into the ground, but I just can't. Yeah, okay. 145, I guess, yeah, it's pretty much done because it's been 3 to 4 years now. And I agree now with y'all. Like, if they don't take the time to build it, if they haven't by now, then it's done. I mean, you continue to have so many jumps and levels of fighters fight, and they just continue to get beat up by the champion, or whether it been Chris Cyborg in the past. It's just not fair to these other featherweights that come in, you know, like the few featherweights that come in, because there is no division, right? So you're just jumping from a prospect to a champion, contender to a champion. You know, you're just putting yourself at risk. So it's not worth it anymore. So yeah, they might as well just hang it up if they ain't gonna build it. I mean, Macy Chason said she would have fluctuated between weights, but there's no need. I think Leah Letson's still around in the UFC, so if she comes back, I'm sure her fight will be at 145. But yeah, might as well say, yeah, let it rest then. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So we can just say, yeah, I hate to say rest in peace to it, but I think the last fight at featherweight will be Spencer Wolf. I think that'll be the last fight. You know, that's coming up May 22nd. So after Spencer Wolf, maybe they might be released from their contract. Megan Anderson just fought her last fight, right? That was her last fight in her contract. So she's done. Let's talk about that real quick. What's next for Megan if her contract is done? Y'all made a good point. Not trying to be funny. E-gaming is an option. You know, commentating is an option. Megan Anderson is a solid commentator. You know, she's a very solid commentator when she was in Invicta commentating. Bellator. I mean, it ain't over. It's not over for her. You know, Megan Anderson can do a lot of things. You know, like I said, esports, commentating, fight at Bellator. Shit, fight at BKFC. I talked about that. You know, I talked about that. Megan Anderson could be a bare knuckle boxer. You get some big girls up in there. Megan's laying them out now. If you limit it to just hands, Megan Anderson might be knocking some girls out. BKFC is easy money for her. Easy money. Y'all know it. Ernest said Wolf said she was ready for a fight with Nunes. Okay. Okay. She'll get it worse than Megan Anderson did. And she'll deserve it for that too, because you can't come in there 1-0 and say you're ready. I don't even acknowledge that. Wolf is going to be the one to beat Nunez, mark my words. Fuller, come on. Oh, boy. Y'all funny. I would love to see Wolf fight Nunez. Scrap the Pena debacle and being on Wolf. Boy, y'all trying to get blocked. Y'all trying to get blocked with that talk. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. BKFC, that's an option. Bellator is an option. I can see Megan Anderson beating Julia Budd. You know, I can see her beating a lot of these featherweights over here. Good fights for her, you know, to lead up to another big super fight with Chris Cyborg. Again, like, she might not be able to beat Chris Cyborg, but she could fight her way up the rankings, you know, get some good fights in, and then get a super fight with Chris Cyborg, and that's another option. You know, I mean, results might be similar, but I could see her doing that too. So there's other things out there. It's just she's not UFC level. You know, she never developed in the UFC level. And she's had 3 years to do it. You know? But yeah. We'll put that final nail in the coffin of the featherweight division as a whole. You know, I'm sure there'll still be little gimme fights here and there to fulfill like the contracts for Danielle and Felicia Spencer, but that's it. Marcus said she can't beat Julia Budd either. I think she could. I mean, Julia Budd could beat her, yeah, but I mean, I could see Megan winning that fight. All right. So I didn't do a post-fight analysis for Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya, so I said I'll go ahead and do it now while I'm here on with y'all, because was going to do it earlier, but you know I got kind of busy again. So we'll jump to that in a minute. Julia Budd beats everyone not named Cyborg. I can agree with that. I mean, there'll be some competitive fights in there, but I could see Julia Budd, you know, beating a lot of the girls. But I think Megan could do it. Megan, when the competition and the stakes get high, I think she just get a little anxious. You know, that anxiety kind of takes over. So it's one of those situations where this fight, I think she would be a little bit more calm and relaxed in. He said, how does Megan beat Julia Budd? I think she'll open up more so in that fight. Like, I think mentally she'll be there for that fight. Now, for these big fights, it's a different story. You know, she clams up, but I think she'll be in there to strike more, you know, to set up, you know, some good power shots in there and even throw a few kicks. You know, I could see her keeping Julia Budd on the end of a few punches. You know, I will be honest about that. But like I said, I'm not saying she'll do it, but I think that she'll have a better chance in that fight. So yeah, one more thing. What was I gonna say? Amanda Nunes. Yeah, real quick. Amanda Nunes, man. Like, yeah, like I thought what she said was kind of selfish, you know, about retiring in the division. But I mean, yeah, if they ain't gonna build it, yeah, you can retire it. But she needs to go ahead and drop that belt and just stay at 135 now and just wrap it up at 135. You know, I mean, yeah, these girls are big at these girls are big and they could be dangerous at 145, but there's no other girls there, so just go ahead and wrap it up at 135. You know, after you take this Pena fight with, after Nunes takes this Pena fight, I mean, what else is there, right? Yeah, Blanco's a good boxer, man. Blanco's a good boxer. But you don't want to box all day against. You don't want to box all day against Megan Anderson. You know, you don't want to stay on the end of the shots, that puncher's range. Because again, she's not gonna react to this fight like the Nunes fight. All right, so hang on, I gotta grab something here real quick. Last question before we jump to Jan versus Izzy. So should Amanda Nunes just retire or what? I'll be right back. Amanda retire, yes or no? 1 sec. All right, I'm back. Okay. All right, what do we got? Nunez needs to stay 5 minutes longer than Valentina. Okay. I don't ever want to see Valentina hold 2 belts simply because she hung in there longer than Nunez. If Amanda beats Pena, she needs to retire. Yeah, that's what I pretty much think. I'm like, yo, that's it, right? You know what I mean? Like, let's go ahead and say, hang it up. You clean out the division. All right, Lolita said, no, Amanda still has the hunger and the skill. She should not retire. Who else could she fight though? You know. Now, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, who else could she fight at this point? I'm sorry, I'm just uploading something here. Robert Henry said, the business of the champ is to fight, not dictate whether a division should continue to exist. It's like you're saying, since the division wasn't that competitive, you had no business staying in long. Yeah. I think it's, yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's up to the fighter just to fight, you know. That's why I was saying it was selfish for her to say to retire the division. But at the same time, it's like, you know, they not building the division. So she was kind of feeling like, if they just come in left and right and there's not that many girls, I cleaned it out. And what are we going to do from here? But yeah, like the double champ thing, yeah, at this point, you know, she's had it for almost 3 years now. So the value of that's kind of fallen. So I just feel like, yeah, if she relinquished that title, then maybe they won't retire it. Maybe they'll think about doing something with it. I'm sure they will. I think people will think differently whenever she retires or vacates that belt and goes back to 135 for good. TJ said, I think it's sad Shevchenko fans acknowledge that's her only chance to find the 135 title. Oh, do you mean that's her only chance, TJ, to get the bantamweight title is to fight Nunez? I don't think it is. I mean, I've already talked about it before. I think if Nunez retired, then I think if Nunes retired, Valentina could fight GDR for the belt. That's, it don't matter to me. She could fight for the belt. That would be a good fight. Lolita said that is not Amanda's job to find fights. There are those bantamweights. Yeah, there's those bantamweights, but if nobody's showing interest, then if nobody's showing interest, or if you already cleaned it out, I mean, who else is there? I mean, it gets kind of tiring seeing Amanda fight the same person over and over again. Okay, you're gonna fight GDR a third time, Holly Holm a second time, CJ said let her keep grabbing checks. That's if they keep making the same fights over and over, I mean, if she retires the featherweight title, fine, and stay at 135. But I think you can only go so far from there. Man, Kayla Harrison, boy, that's going to be another Megan Anderson type fight right there. But she wants it, so that could happen, right? I think you said why should Nunes retire but not Valentina? Well, I think Nunes has done more and accomplished more than Valentina, in my opinion. So that's why I say she should retire, because why keep putting yourself at risk and let that be the day Father Time takes your legs or your reflexes. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can say she's the greatest, and yeah, you can say keep grabbing checks, but let that be the day your greed takes over and you get knocked out cold. You need everybody says keep going whenever the getting is good, but you got to think about retiring in your prime sometimes. Keep thinking keep that check grabbing mentality, and you'll wind up on your back like some of these other fighters. You got to know when to bow out. That's my whole thing. Like, Nunez needs to retire more so than Valentina, because Valentina, to me, still hasn't accomplished as much as Nunez. Like, a few more title defenses at 125, and maybe you go back and challenge 135. It doesn't have to be against Nunez. It could be against somebody else. Like, if Nunez retired, then she could fight for the vacant belt up there. But yeah, like, if there's nothing more for you to do, and you have to keep digging for fighters, come on, let's be honest. You've done everything. You've done everything. That's why you see some of these great boxers that stay in there longer than they need to wind up getting knocked out, because they ain't know when to quit. Because everybody's saying, oh yeah, you got it, you untouchable, keep grabbing checks. And then somebody average comes along one day and knocks you out. Because your legs are gone, your reflexes are gone, you're out of your prime. It hits you just like that, Oh, TJ said, no, I'm saying that if the only way Val can win the bantamweight title is if Nunez retires, that looks bad on Valentina. It's acknowledging you can't beat her. Oh, we know she can. To me, if you win the first two fights, then that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? That's it. We know you couldn't beat that fighter. It happens sometimes. You see in boxing, when somebody moves up in weight, that person that couldn't beat that person that moved up, they'll fight for the title. It's just one of them things, man. It'll still be a record for you. Once you get that belt, though. I mean, And think about it, TJ. Like, if she fought GDR, that would be a big challenge for her. It'd still be a big challenge. Yeah, only one should retire there, because Nunez has more accomplishments. Nunes has 2 wins over Valentina. You know, she's beat everybody at 135 and 145. Where Valentina's beat a few bantamweights, defended 4 to 5 times now, four times at flyweight when she could go back up and, you know, challenge for the belt. Yeah, Pacquiao Marquez, they fought 4 times because the first one was a draw too. That messed it up. You know, it's all about evening the score. See, Pacquiao Marquez, the first fight was a draw, then it was win, loss. Man, let me pull this record up. You know, I know this. Hold on. Perfect example, Ali Frazier. Frazier won the first fight, right? Going into the rematch, Ali won the next one. So we're 1-1, right? Third fight, Ali wins that. 2 to 1. He broke the tie. Nunez versus Valentina, there was no tiebreaker there. Nunez won both fights. You know, Nunez won both fights, so there's no need to go on, really. She beat her 2 times in a row. If it would have went 1-1, then yeah, we get a rubber match. Like DC versus Stipe. DC versus Stipe, they split 2 fights, right? That made more sense. But this fight don't really make sense. No matter how close the fights were, how boring the fights were to you, Nunes won both fights. It don't. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me see. Oh, now I ain't even gonna start. I'm gonna stop answering you now, TJ, because you think I'm talking about for Valentina's sake. I'm talking about for Nunez's sake. You heard me say that, man. See, that's why I ain't gonna say no. You know what, TJ? Because you know I said to retire before you get put on your back. Yeah, Robert. That's what I'm saying. Look, stop being greedy, because one day your behind is gonna be put on your back. I'm saying retire because the longer you stay in the game, you gonna get knocked out one day by a C level fighter. Ain't got nothing to do with Valentina's sake. Robert said you telling me that after losing a very close fight to Nunez and then beats her, that means she can't beat that fighter. You think me and Nunez is still better? Okay. You lost me on that one, Robert. I mean, maybe you didn't understand what I was saying, Robert. I said, if you win 2-0, that's pretty much it. There's no tiebreaker there, so there's no need for a third fight. That's what I'm saying, Robert. That's my whole point. Like, yeah, both fights were close, but there's really no need for a third fight. I mean, every fight's going to be the same outcome. You know, it's not going to be a barn burner where it's going to be that type of fight that y'all are expecting. All right, so let me see something real quick. Yeah, see, the first Pacquiao Marquez fight was a draw. The second one was a close decision for Manuel Marquez, right? And yeah, that second one, okay, he got another one. See, Pacquiao, they could have stopped there, because see, Pacquiao, look, draw, then Pacquiao won 2 close fights, right? And then finally Marquez stopped him in that 4th fight. That saga went on longer than it needed to. He could have stopped there, but you know there's a lot of money in that fight. See, I don't think a lot of people want to see this Valentina versus Nunes fight again. Gotti Ward was 3 fights, yeah, because it was, you know, Same deal like Ali Frazier, you know. It was all about breaking that tie. And I do agree with you on that, TJ, because that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the sad thing is, if Nunez won a third fight, you know, the Shevchenko fans would want a fourth. But if she wins the third, she would be the best. That's what I was saying. Honestly, Robert, I had Pacquiao winning like all three of the first fights. That's why I was like, there's no need to give Marquez a fourth fight. I had Pacquiao winning that first fight, that draw, the second and the third fight. He was about to win the fourth fight till he got stopped. But yeah, Gotti Ward, that was 3 fights because, again, it was a tiebreaker. It was a tiebreaker. Roy Jones versus Antonio Tarver, 1-1. It was a tiebreaker. Nunes, first two fights, that's it. She did it. No need for a third fight. You know? I really don't feel like, you know, it's going to really solve anything at that point. So, yeah, take one more fight and see what else, any other challenges come up. But I think, yeah, she's about done. I think Nunez will be done. I think she should retire. Because then after that, you know what y'all going to be saying if she lose? Y'all going to be saying, oh, man, like, she should have retired. Y'all going to be saying she should have retired. So it's good to get it, you know, get it while it's good, know when to get out, know when to throw in your chips, know when to fold. But yeah, man, let's hold on. Let's talk this fight. Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya. I didn't do my post fight on that yet, so I'll do it here with y'all what I thought of the fight. So yeah, man, Jan Blkovich versus Israel Adesanya. Good fight. Very, very good competitive fight. Of course, it wasn't like a barn burner or anything like that. It wasn't like a straight up slugfest or fight of the night. But it was a very good competitive match. You know, shout out to Israel Adesanya. He did what a lot of boxers tweet about. You know, what a lot of boxers are tweeting about. You know, he moved up, challenged himself. Went in there, took on a very dangerous fighter, very strong fighter. But Blachowicz, you know, he just proved to be a little bit too much for him, not just with the striking, but with the physical strength and the ability to, you know, kind of expose Israel Adesanya's ground game. You know, a couple takedowns, definitely secured the fight for him. I watched the fight twice. The first go round, I gave it to Blachowicz. I felt like Jan, won it 3-2. Second time I watched it, same result. I feel like Blachowicz, he won it. I just feel like Israel Adesanya didn't do enough to convincingly take the belt. You know, early on he had his moments in the first few rounds, but I feel like whenever Blachowicz said, "Look, no more striking. We're going to use our physical strength," in the 4th and 5th round, he bagged those last 2 rounds. All he needed was that 5th round, you know, because it was tied up after 4. When he got that takedown, that's all he needed. And, you know, just to control the ground, just to smother Adesanya's offense, and that's what he did. You know what I mean? Let's go back and look at the fight real quick. First round, close round, but I gave it to Izzy. I felt like it was a good chess match, you know, back and forth with some jabs and some leg kicks. I think Izzy's kicks to the lead leg were a little bit better, more effective. I think that Blachowicz was getting off some good, you know, body kicks of his own. You could see the strength difference. The kicks were moving Izzy, but Izzy continued to, you know, find that pace with the jab. I think towards the last minute, Izzy got into better strikes, so I edged around to him, but competitive, very competitive. Second round, I had to give the Jan. Like, I watched the round like 2 or 3 times, just that one round, and I felt like Izzy won once. Then I had Jan win the round 2 times. I felt like Blkovich, Jan Blkovich, his left hook to the bodies, his left hooks to the body were good. His kicks, he was jabbing to the chest, he was jabbing to the body. Izzy still finding that pace with his jab and leg kicks, but I think the more effective shots in the second round were from Jan. He was, like I said, hitting him to the chest and to the body with those kicks and moving Izzy. So second round I gave to Jan. Third round I gave to Izzy. Much better with the jabs. He stopped one of Jan's takedowns, and Izzy's left hook stunned Jan in this round. He stunned him with the left hook, landed some good head kicks. Jan started coming in, clinching a little bit more, putting the weight on Izzy. So something told me like Izzy got to start moving. Izzy got to work on that takedown because he got to start moving, because this was the round where Jan started putting weight on him. But overall, third round I gave to Izzy. Good striking. Like I said, he stunned him with that left hook too and just controlled it. But the latter part of the round, Jan started coming on a little bit stronger. Fourth round, Izzy started with good 1-2. Jan went in for a clinch, landed a good right hand on the break. He stuns Izzy with his own right hand. Izzy trying to go back to establishing that distance, putting that distance between them, man. But there was a combination that came. That combination that came from Izzy. Izzy landed that good body head combination and hurt Jan again. But what did Jan do? Jan said, look, going in for the takedown. Went in for the takedown. Not much happened with the takedown, but he was on top. I feel like he finished the round stronger because it was like he controlled the ground for 3 minutes. Izzy really looked lost on his back. He was really struggling because he was dealing with that bigger, stronger man. So fourth round, I gave to Jan. So I had it tied. Going into the fifth round, I think that fifth round, Izzy landed some good strikes, good leg kicks again, but Jan started coming forward with his right hand. He looked gassed, but he kept coming forward with the right hand, landing good punches, and then finally gets another takedown, and I'm like, boom, that's it. That's all he had to do was get that takedown, finalize it, and pretty much just keep Izzy pinned, work a few ground and pound shots, and get control, get the full control in that round, and he did. Izzy's thing was he just came in here a little bit too dependent on his striking. I think he needed to, well, not just his striking, but stationary striking. Like he was just trying to play chess too much. He wasn't really using his feet, wasn't using angles. So every time he pulls back, he's right there to be grabbed. So you pull back and your legs are stationary, all Jan got to do is go for the double leg and you down. So just a lot of things Izzy need to work on if he moving up to light heavyweight, dealing with these bigger, stronger fighters, man. 3-2, Jan Blachowicz kept his title. I just feel like if you want to beat the champion, you got to beat him. And I think that Jan kept his title with good striking. He's been working on his boxing and his striking, and it showed. And he definitely just a bigger, stronger man. But shout out to Izzy, man. Izzy did what he needed to do, man. Definitely did what he needed to do. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section there about this fight. I give Izzy a lot of credit for challenging himself. Like I said, a lot of these boxers, man, they ain't doing that. But yeah, that's my post-fight. That's my post-fight on that. Let me see. Lolita said Jan's leg was red. Yeah, calf kicks were good. Calf kicks were good from those leg kicks were good from Izzy. I like what he was doing there, but I think that Blachowicz started coming on stronger with those punches, and good right hands, stunned Izzy once, and then I think when Izzy tried to turn on the striking in like the that fourth round, Izzy hit him with the body shot, came over the top with the right hand and left hook. Jan was like, yo, no, we ain't striking them. I'm taking you to the ground. And that's smart. That was smart on his part. So Jan let the strength come into play, and that's what you got to do, man. Like, you're the bigger guy, don't even try to strike with him. So he kind of gassed himself out a little bit with those takedowns, but hey, that's what he needed to do, man. And I can see why Jan in the past has been kind of a slow starter. Maybe it's the cardio, but he's got the power to kind of equal out some of these fights, you know. Let's see what y'all saying here. Yeah, I just wanted to drop that for y'all because I didn't, you know, like I said, I didn't do the video earlier. Robert said Izzy was slowly starting to slow down by the end of the third. Yeah, that's where he came on. Like when the clinch, you know, when that clinch started coming in from Yan, started putting that weight on him, he started slowing down, you know, not moving his feet and just, you know, getting, staying in the pocket too much, becoming a target. Robot Chicken said Sterling's getting murdered in the rematch. Yeah, man, like, I had Yan winning that fight. He just made it, he did a stupid thing, man. What about Izzy versus Jones? Man, Jones gonna stop Izzy. Jones would stop Izzy. I was saying last night or Saturday night, Jones stops Blkovich and Adesanya, in my opinion. But he'll definitely beat Izzy though, man, because Izzy, though the striking was good, the chess playing was good, he needed more. He just needed more to his game. Like, he needed to be a little bit more aggressive in the clinch with those knees. Thing is, he couldn't because he just didn't have the size. You know, he didn't have that size, and that's not really his style. He's usually good at just measuring and just using his kickboxing and striking from a range. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, TJ. The bridge is too far for Izzy. He can't get it done at that weight, man. Like, you really can't get it done at that weight. The guys are just too big, man. Yan versus Jones at 205. Yeah, I'm going with Jones. I'm going with Jones in that fight. I think Jones could take him in deep waters and stop him, because that 4th and 5th round, you could see Yan Blachowicz huffing and puffing, boy. He was huffing and puffing. He was still dangerous, though, because, you know, he could still land. You know, he could still load up his right. And like I said, he's been working on his boxing with the heavyweight contender. A heavyweight contender in boxing, not in MMA. He's been working on that. So he definitely looked the part to really control. So yeah, I think that Izzy, you know, he just wanted to challenge himself. You know, it was his confidence and his heart that got him there. But still some things, if he wanted to come back to light heavyweight, he just need to fill out some more. But, you know, I still think Jones would beat, you know, I think he would beat Izzy. Robert said today's the last day I talk about Aldo Yan fight on the internet or any other place. Oh yeah, like I said, I already dropped my video. I'm not going in anymore. That's my thoughts on it. Y'all can watch the video. Like I said, I lost a lot of respect for Yan for just doing something stupid like that. You already win in the fight. You win in the fight. Why even look to the corner to ask what to do? I mean, you know what to do. If you see his knees looking like they're touching the canvas, you know what to do. You would have been better off trying to get on his back and try to get a rear naked choke at that point. You sitting there holding his head in his hand and you asking them what to do. You figure it out. You're winning 3-1 right now. Why are you asking them? You act like you were in a compromising position, like he had you on the fence. It's one thing if Sterling had him clinched up and he was like listening to his corner, but you got this guy down on his knees and you still asking what to do, or you listening to the corner. Come on, man. Some things are just like obvious, you know, don't be stupid. Let's see. But yeah, Izzy, very, very, like I said, good striker, very good striker, man. But the more you get up to the heavyweight division, light heavyweight division, deal with these bigger guys, you know, the style has to change. Like even in boxing, when you move up to heavier weights, you know, defense needs to become stronger. Um, if you're a small guy, footwork needs to become more active. It needs to be a bigger thing. You got to be able to move in and out when you're dealing with these bigger guys. I think that Izzy didn't do enough movement in this fight. He was doing a lot of pullbacks, so eventually he was going to get taken down. He was still going to get hit because his feet were still stationary. Good at measuring range, but he was still coming in strong. Blachowicz was. But like I said, definitely a good fight, good challenge. Oh, Izzy's. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you saw that swelling on his chest. Yeah, I don't know about that. What's going on, man? Yeah, I'm waiting for that Glory DePaula fight this Saturday. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put my what do you call it, prediction up for that fight. Yeah, I don't know, Lolita, about that whole deal. Like, I don't know anything about his situation with that. If you're talking about the chest thing, like I heard one doctor already kind of speak on that, just some issue with his chest. I don't know if it has anything to do with Page or not. I mean, it seems like he's passing his test, so I can't really say. I'm gonna have to actually go back and look at that part. I wasn't really looking at it that night, but I'm gonna have to go back and look. So, yeah, what else is going on this weekend coming up besides Jin Frey and Glory DePaula? Oh, you picking Jin? Come on, TJ. I thought you heard, or you picking Jin to win that fight. I didn't know you were a Jin fan. I gotta disagree with you on that, TJ. Who else is fighting this weekend? Hang on one second. Just trying to fix this upload. Yeah, it was a little bit more. I could really see it in the Costa fight. I really wasn't paying attention to it this time around, but yeah, I could see it in the Costa fight. Because there's a fight doctor. What's that fight doctor's name? For the UFC. I follow him online, and he was talking about it one day, and he was just talking about how it was pronounced in that fight. But yeah, I wasn't really noticing that in this fight. According to TJ, she's not Marcus. He's going for her. Oh, I thought you were saying she wins, man. That's what I'm saying, Robert. That's what I'm saying. He said it. Look, he said Jen wins. So he guessing already. So Jen and Juice. Gin and crack. No. Gin and crack. I don't know if that's gin and juice. It might be gin and crack. But what do y'all want to see Izzy do from here anyway? Move back down? Move back down and wait? Yeah, I mean, yeah. there's always some good fights at middleweight for him. Even a rematch with Robert Whitaker. It's all right if he can just be a one division champion. I mean, he can just continue to fight and still be just as good, but still just as impressive. There's always gonna be somebody that comes along, and he's still young, so he can always challenge himself again. At one point. Yeah, it was 185. Yeah, that's why I say just stay at 180. Yeah, stay at 185. Yes, just stay there. Because I think his skill and his build are good enough for middleweight, but for light heavyweight, I'm telling you, man, that's where you got to have a balance of physicality and strength. You got to be built like those guys. You got to have some type of weight to you. Thiago. Blkovich, John Jones, all of these guys, you start getting up into that weight, man, them shoulders start getting wider, and it's get broader, and waist is much bigger. What did they say Blkovich came in at 220 almost? He was like 220 up in there. Izzy versus who? Yeah, Izzy versus Gaston. That would be good. I missed that. I mean, shoot, I like that first fight. That first fight between them was good. Yeah, but real quick here, yeah, y'all, it's 50 years. It's been 50 years now since Ali and Frazier first fought, 1971, March 8th. Man, I was just watching some of this fight as I was talking to y'all, even before I had it on, man. This is what I'm talking about. Ali Frazier, man, this is definitely not just the fight of the century, man. This was one of the best fights of all time, man. Ali took on a dangerous opponent like Frazier and vice versa. I'm talking about this was a time where dudes used to fight for real. I'm talking about 15 rounds. 15 rounds. And these two guys, I'm just looking at a little bit of right now. We're really going at it. I feel like Ali, he was winning early in this fight. Like, I'm just looking how well he was boxing in these first few rounds. Like, first 4 or 5 rounds, he was boxing nice. Joe Frazier, though, he's just so relentless, man. Dude's like a machine coming at you with that left hook. And just the way he's fighting, I'm looking at him right now, just the way he's consistently trying to break Ali down and break him and tire him out. Wow. Just looking at it, he's just like so consistent, so tough. But Ali is too, because he's still just coming back, just peppering him with these punches. And I think that Ali probably would have won this fight, but it was that knockdown for sure. 8th round, knockdown that broke Ali's jaw. Dang. Shoot. And that was one punch that, Muhammad Ali was very prone to getting hit with, because he dropped his hands so low, that left hook. He's been hit by the left hook by a lot of, quite a few fighters. And that left hook from Joe Frazier is no joke, man. And he just continued to hit with that left hook throughout these rounds. And I think, Muhammad Ali started to wear down in some of those later rounds. Some of them was so much, back and forth. But let me see. Real close, man. 15 rounds. But I think he would have won it if he didn't get knocked down. But Joe Frazier got it. Joe Frazier won, I'd say, about, 8 rounds to 7. About 8 rounds to 7. I don't really like to do the draws, but it was like 8 rounds to 7, man. Somebody had it like, what did one of these judges have it? Like 11 rounds to 4. It's like, dang. I thought that fight was pretty close, though. It is, Rourke. It's like, it's the 50-year anniversary. But yeah, if you really want to see like the best fight, the best, yeah, like you got to go back 50 years in boxing, Well, not really, because the 90s was good. You know, the 90s was good. The 90s had a lot of good boxing. '90s definitely had a lot of good boxing, but yeah, this was a good fight, very good between two guys. Like I said, their talk resulted in fights. It wasn't just a bunch of call outs. These guys nowadays in boxing, boy, a lot of fights being talked about, but nothing happened. But yeah, y'all. What else? What else before I get up out of here? What else has been going on? I'll be back on tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the flyweight division, upcoming fights. You know, flyweight update. Tomorrow we'll do another flyweight update on who's matched up and who's fighting, and yeah, we'll talk about, of course, the title fight in the flyweight division a little bit. It's got a few flyweight fights coming up between now and May, so do another update with their division. And they were talking while they were fighting too. You know, they were just in there talking. Yeah, you get God is on my side. Yeah, you can't beat me, God's on my side. He said, not tonight. Right, man. Like, Joe Frazier in that fight, man, was just relentless, bro. I mean, you could tell Joe had been in a fight, though. I mean, if you look at his face, like, dude was knotted up because Muhammad Ali was touching him, though. You know, Ali's jaw was swollen from that left hook, but I mean, Joe's face was knotted up. Oh, yeah. It was a good fight. Carl Truth, rest in peace of Carl Truth Williams, too, man. You know, he passed away a little bit ago. A few years now, but yeah. Yeah, 80s and 90s are good, too, man. Like, yeah, Razor Ruddock, Pinklin Thomas, all of them good fighters, man. Yeah, Pinklin Thomas was more 80s, yeah. But yeah, Razor Ruddock, Carl Williams in the 90s. I mean, Mike Tyson laid out Carl Williams in that one round. But still, Carl Williams has some good fights. Yeah, Carl Truth Williams, he passed away not too long ago. Hold on, how long has it been? Carl Truth Williams. Oh yeah, 8 years ago. Yeah, he's been gone for 8 years now. Yeah, but yeah, tomorrow I'll get back on. We'll talk about this flyweight division, some of these upcoming fights. You know, we got some good stuff coming up. Taylor versus Roxanne, Manon versus Marina Moreau, Caitlin versus Vivian. All those fights coming up. Vernon, yep. Vernon, yep. Vernon, I remember he passed away. He got, yeah, trying to help somebody out and he got shot. Okay. Damn, TJ said Manon. Okay, Manon wins, Taylor loses. Dang, you think, TJ, how you got Taylor losing to Roxanne? I gotta know. I have to know because you seem confident in that. Since you called it right now, like, Taylor, how you see Taylor losing? Gloria the Paul. Okay. I'm giving Taylor Santos a chance to rise to the occasion against Roxanne. I am too. I'm giving her a good chance. I was very confident that Viviane was going to win against Roxanne just because, she has, she has a jiu-jitsu background and she's so physically strong and she's just a fast striker. Like, Viviane had a lot of good things in that fight, but she started to gas. Like, when she gassed towards the last part, that's where it made you say, okay. But let's see what Taylor Santos has to offer in this fight. Can never count Roxanne out, though, man. That's the crazy part. I just want to see how TJ's going to, I want to see what you say as far as, okay, Roxanne's going to find a way. She does it every time you think she can. Yeah, when you count her out, that's when she usually does it. So, but when you think about the fighters she beat as of late, they've been kind of limited. Like Anthony Shevchenko was a bit limited, right? Macy Barber was limited. Andrea Lee was limited. In my opinion, those three were kind of limited. But when she fought fighters like Lauren Murphy, Viviane Araújo, they put the work on her. They put the work on her. But who else? Taylor Santos, we'll see. We'll see if she's not limited. We know she's not limited. I'm going to put it that way. I know she's not limited. Fighters like, again, big strong fighters like Lauren Murphy and Viviane Araújo, they were able to handle her. So I'm thinking Taylor Santos, she has more than one tool as well, and she'll be able to handle it. I'm gonna go early talk right now. I'm going with Taylor. I'm going with Taylor Santos because I'm gonna look at Roxanne's resume as of right now and just look at the people she's beaten. I'm looking at her win-loss pattern. And let's look at the fighters that she loses to. 25-19. 25-18. Okay, let's start here. I'll start with Nico Montano. All right. Nico Montano. Rugged, physically strong fighter, beats her. She beats Barb Honchak, somebody she fought before, somebody who was a bit older on their way out. Sijara Eubank, another physically strong, rough, rugged fighter. Okay? Notice a pattern here. Sijara Eubank, physically strong, rough and rugged, can take it to the ground, dangerous on the ground as well. Was willing to fight Roxanne, take the fight to her, right? She loses that fight. So notice that pattern. She loses to another strong fighter, beats her. She beats a aged fighter, loses to another physically strong fighter, beats Antonina Shevchenko, who's a limited fighter, loses to Jennifer Maia, physically strong, has boxing, has more than one tool, beats Macy Barber, one-dimensional, loses to Lauren Murphy, another physically strong fighter with a lot of tools, good jabs, manhandled Roxanne in there. Beats Andrea Lee, another limited fighter. Loses to Viviane Araújo, physically strong fighter, good striking, good takedown defense, also has black belt in jiu-jitsu. Notice that pattern there? It's not the timing of her wins. If you notice the pattern, it's the quality of opponents. The opponents she's beaten, they're limited. The opponents she loses to are physically strong and have more than one tool. And I think Taylor Santos has more than one tool. So I'm going with Taylor Santos. It's not just a win-win. It's not just a win-loss pattern. It's a pattern of beating mediocre competition and limited opponents, one-dimensional opponents. The fighters she's losing to are strong as hell. They're strong as hell. They have a ground game, and they have better striking, and they're rough and rugged. It's a mixture of all of that. Again, look, Nico, Sarge, Jennifer Maia, Lauren Murphy, Viviane Araújo, all 5 of those losses, fighters that are not one-dimensional. Her wins, Barb Honchak, Shevchenko, Barber, Andrea Lee. So she's 9 fights. Her last 9 fights, she's 4-5. 4 wins over mediocre competition. 5 losses to very, very tough fighters. Shoot, 50. Let me think about it. I might put 100 on that, man. Let me think about it. Guy, you don't bet, but hey, we'll think about it. Yeah, like the only thing that's a pattern there is a WL pattern. But as far as like her showing up, think about it. It's the same Roxanne. It's the same Roxanne. Like if you really want to break it down, it's the same Roxanne in the last 10, 11 fights. It's just on how you handle her. You know, there's no oh, I'm up and down. She's just able to do what she does with certain opponents because they're that limited, you know. It's the same exact Roxanne every fight. Jennifer Maia is just a much more well-rounded fighter. Lauren Murphy, stronger, much more well-rounded fighter. Viviane Araújo, the only thing that was about to beat her was her gas tank. Make sense? Right? I think that's pretty spot on. I think, shoot, I should have put 200 on JoJo that night because I think you picked. Who picked Jessica? Yeah, you picked Jessica I to beat JoJo. I should have put 200 on that. I knew that JoJo was gonna win that fight. You know. Boy, you gonna be paying 200. You gonna be paying up, sir. I'm telling you, man. You gonna be paying up. You gonna be paying up. Shoot, go ahead. Let me fatten this thing up even more. Fatten this bank account up even more. Yeah, Robert, I'm serious, man. I'm serious about that. You know, because we go all the way back to the Tough House. If you can get Roxanne into the clinch, and you got strength, and you put the weight, you ain't even got to put the weight on her. If you just like no grappling, if you got grappling skills, and you putting the elbow in her face and you beating her up, she's done. Roxanne doesn't really pull too many tricks out the bag because she is Roxanne. You know, if you're a green fighter, of course she's gonna take you to school. She starts to look like the teacher in there. You know, Macy Barber. She doesn't have any like physic. She's big, but she doesn't really have that physical strength presence. Macy Barber's not gonna rush you like Sarge. You know, she's gonna keep swinging for the fence until she knocks you out. So Roxanne's like, oh, I got this. This girl wants to punch. She doesn't want to fight in the clinch. I'm gonna take her to the ground. Same with Shevchenko. You know, Anthony Shevchenko in that fight was more of a stand-up fighter, but Roxanne's got that slow, that weird pace to her where she'll just bum rush you at times or punch her way in, and boom, she's on top of you, full mount, working you. She beat Andrea Lee before, so she had the blueprint to that. But when you talking like Jennifer Maia's and them, nah, man. Jennifer Maia, Viviane Araújo, and soon to be Taylor Santos, TJ, she's going to come away with a win. Exactly. Yeah, that was back in the Tough House, Marcus. Yeah, Nico beat her back in the Tough House, and that was like when you really see it. Like if you got the strength, and you one of them rough, rugged fighters, yeah. Matter of fact, Jennifer Maya beat Roxanne twice. Beat her twice. Then when you want to go all the way back to well-rounded fighters and strong fighters, Vanessa Porto beat her. And then everybody else she beat, like Deanna Bennett, way back, Sarah Del Leo, those were all just, average fighters. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, she doesn't have any tricks. She's the same Roxanne. She's the same Roxanne, Robert. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, there really is no adjustment she's making. When you just get caught sleeping, she'll turn into Roxanne and do her thing. Look, TJ, I tell you, I ain't messing with that fight. I ain't messing with the Whaley Rose fight. I mean, that's too close a fight to call. When we talking, yeah, that fight, I ain't even messing with that fight. I am not. I never said I was messing with that fight. That's too close. I haven't even done my prediction on that fight. Look, I'm a Rose fan, but at the same time, look, I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being serious about that one, bro. I never said I was. Yeah. I've been saying it was 50-50 up to this point. So I ain't putting no money on that. I would put money on Taylor Santos. Shoot, I'll put money on Miranda versus Jillian. I'll put money on those fights. But I ain't messing with Whaley Rose, man. Shoot, I was more. I put something on Whaley versus Joanna. I knew Whaley was gonna pull that fight out. But this one here, for some reason, it's just a little too close to call, man. I ain't giving you my prediction yet. Well, since it's been confirmed, I will do a breakdown for it. I will do a breakdown for it. TJ's confident, boy. TJ's confident Whaley's got this, man. TJ's confident about next month. I mean, from what we've seen from Whaley and just her momentum, I can see where you're coming from. But you never know how her style's going to click with Rose and Namajunas, But let me go back and do my history and my research on both fights, and then we'll start to talk here. We'll really get to talking on the fight more. But yeah, man, what else here? How long are we on? I'm gonna be on for about 2 or 3 more minutes here, then I'm gonna get up out. Yeah, man, my final thoughts though. UFC 259, it was a good card. Like I said, both Amandas went in there, got their first round finishes. Lemos, she's a strawweight that's on the rise. I think we need to keep an eye out for her. The thing is, man, Lemos is like 34, so she's got to move it, man. She's got crunch time. 33, excuse me. She's 33 years old. Amanda Lemos, unranked right now. As of right now, it's time to. Let's be honest, it's time to set her up with big fights. So yeah, if Michelle Waters, I see where y'all coming from. If Michelle Waterson don't want it with Amanda Ebos. Amanda versus Amanda. Let's get Lemos versus Ebos in there. Move Lemos up to the top 10. I think she's ready for it. But yeah, I was just thinking, 33 years old. Let's go ahead and see what she's made of. Let's get her Ebas, or let's get her Claudia Gadelha. Let's get her either of those fights next, Then eventually maybe we'll see her in there with like Amanda or Marina Rodriguez. I said the same thing about Megan. No, I'm serious about this one. This one's close, man. I'm serious with this for real. Megan versus Amanda, I don't know about that. This was close. And speaking of Megan, final thoughts on Amanda. Like I said, Amanda, I think it's a good time to maybe get another fight or two and then call it quits. Because, like I said, you don't want to stay in the game too long until you get hurt. You got a baby now. But the thing is, it just crossed my mind now, didn't cross it earlier. I know Amanda Nunes said that she has a baby. Her killer instinct kind of went up, which is true. Sometimes whenever you start to get protective over a baby and you start to care for a kid, you have a kid in your life, you start to want to provide for it more, so that lioness now is really starting to come out. So hey, I put a question mark there. 32 years old, yeah, I put a question mark there. Okay, maybe that baby gave her another flame like Mackenzie Dern. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe she can stay a little longer then, right? Maybe. Megan Anderson, so many other options if this is it for the UFC. I mean, look, BKFC, she's not doing bad with her gaming online, e-gaming. Bellator has a featherweight division, right? And Yan versus Izzy, good fight, man. That was all around just a good fight. Izzy tested itself, couldn't get it, but overall it was a good fight. Yeah, Manon Fiorot, I think after this Marina Moreau fight, it's time to give her a top 10. I mean, if she's 31. If Manon blows out Marina Moreau, then yeah, let's get her into the top 10, top 15. Yeah, let's not waste their time. Robot Chicken, he said he got Zhang. Okay, he got Zhang too. Rose would have lost to Andrade if it was 5 rounds. She was slowing down. Possibly. Yeah, Manon, if she blows out this fight, it's time to get her into the top 15. Let's get her matched up with the top 15. All these other fighters like Montana, De La Rosa, they're not rising to the occasion in the flyweight division, so they continue to fall. Let these other fighters with, better skills get higher up. Okay, I'm just doing something here online, so I'm staying on here a little longer than I was supposed to. I'm just doing a little upload, so hang on. Okay. All right, Robert. Waterson is an IG model. She don't want real fights. Damn. She better get that fight, though, man. Man, Marcus, you know what's going to happen to that. Manon Fiorot versus Joe Jua. I'm talking about, look, Manon is going to stop her on her feet, or she can submit her. Manon Fiorot has that in her, man. Like, ain't nobody hyping Montefiore up. You know, Montefiore is doing her own. She's doing her own. She's doing the job. She's doing her own work. There's no hype behind Montefiore. It's just that's all skill on her. Montefiore gonna take Joshua out. She is taking Joshua out. All right. And the thing is, you know, Montefiore is like almost 5 years older. 5 years older than Montana. You know, she's 5 years older than Montana. You know, she's looking much more fresh, looking much more stronger. She's looking, you know, stronger. She's looking fresh. She just looks like the better complete fighter. So yeah, TJ, I want to see her fighting at number 13 at a minimum. Yeah, let's not waste her. You know, she's more so mentally developed than Montana's and the Jillians. You know, she's more disciplined. You know, she's more disciplined than those, you know, the Courtney Casey's, the Jillians, the Montanas, the Leanna Jojuas. You know, Montefiore already developed as a fighter, so go ahead and test her and get her in. Yeah, like 12 or 13, whatever. I see one of them side kicks from Montefiore just tagging her, man. That karate kick she be throwing to your body, to your face. Yeah, I want to see her. I want to see her by the summertime fighting the top 10 fighter though. But yeah, y'all, it's been real once again. I think we talked about some good stuff tonight. We kind of cracked the Roxanne code here, if there is a code. But we're gonna be back on tomorrow night here, and yeah, you know, like I said, tomorrow is flyweight division talk. So you know, y'all tune in. We'll talk about these flyweight fights coming up. Leanna Jojua videos. What videos are you talking about? Just like her interviews, or her, not her fights, but you're just talking about like her documentaries or something? I'll have to go back and watch them, TJ. I hear you talking about these. I keep forgetting to pull some videos up, but talking about just like documentaries, or I mean, I know what you're talking about now, so. Yeah, man. All right, TJ. Yeah, I'm about to get up out here. Valentina just turned 33, and she still fights like she's in her 20s. Yeah, she does, because her mindset is developed and young, and not taking punishment. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe like always, and yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow to talk the flyweight division updates, flyweight ranking updates, and whatever else comes up. Like always, I am Combo Breaker 99. Okay, y'all check it out. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe.